Hello, friends, and welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about how to motivate yourself to read those books you've been putting off for years. Although I have a lot of books, I don't love reading. I really have to feel motivated to read. And as a clinical therapist, I purchase a lot of books at used bookstores or on Amazon to better myself as a therapist for my clients and also just to become a better human. So I have a lot of self-help books and a lot of books on mental health. These are just some of the books I want to read. Oh, I'm not a hoarder, I promise, but I do also collect notebooks. I love to jot down ideas and take notes on books. So let's get started. Here are 6 books that I've been wanting to read for years. I mean, it's really gotten to the point where it's become a burden. So let's take a look at these books in greater detail. First, we have Escape Anxiety, Positive Affirmations, Who Ordered This Truckload of Dung, Feeding Your Demons, and Nonviolent Communication with a companion workbook. I'm going to organize these into sections. So first, books that I want to read for work that will help my clients and help me create interventions. Second, books that I want to read for fun or that are enjoyable, not too heavy. And third, I've been wanting to revisit Nonviolent Communication. I read it in its entirety, but I want to revisit it. So this is just for me to become a better human. So this is a system that I developed so I can feel motivated and successful in actually finishing a book. So I start by jotting down a few things on a piece of paper. First, I'll write the title of the book that I want to read. Then I'll look through the book and to see if I've read it before. Oftentimes I've actually started books and just forgot, and this is certainly the case with this book. So I've read maybe 20 or 30 pages of this book, and you can see here by my underlining and some notes I've jotted down. So I'm going to skip that part. I'm not going to reread it, and I'm going to go and find the total number of pages that I'm going to read, which is 102 pages. And I'm going to look through the book and just decide like how many pages I could actually commit to reading per day. And I would say I could read 10 pages per day. The font's not too big. Looks like there's some, spaces and sections in the book. So that's doable to do 10 pages a day. Then I divide 202 by 10, which is the total number of pages by the day. And that will give me the total amount of time to read the book. So 20 days is certainly a realistic expectation and goal to finish a book. So then I make a little note on a label that will act as a bookmark, and I'll write 10 pages per day, or 10 pages, or just a little note to remind myself how many pages I'm reading, and I will mark that where I'm going to start the book. So I'll find my spot, mark it, and then I will count 10 pages up just to give me a little head start, just to feel motivated, like it's just 10 pages, it's going to be okay, Amber, you can do this. And I'll mark my spot, and then I will be all set with this book. The next book, Escape Anxiety. Now, I really like this book. I've read about half of it, but it's very cerebral, very intense, has lots of information. So I definitely want to reread it from the beginning, because I'll be taking notes on it as well. So again, I'm going to write the title of the book just to help myself get organized. And then I'm going to find the total number of pages in this book that I'm going to be reading. Now again, this method is something I just created, and you can certainly modify this method. And it looks like I have 247 pages to read, and I'm going to commit to about 8 pages a day, because it's so heavy and very cerebral and there's a lot of information in the book. And so again, going to divide the total number by how many pages I'm committing to read per day. And then I'll just make a little note of that, like how long it's going to take me to read the book. If I can read a book within a month or a little over a month, like 5 weeks, that's really a successful expectation in my mind. So keeping it around 30 to 40 days is really what I'm looking for. So again, putting a little label, 8 pages per day, and counting out 8 pages, putting my little marker up there to remind me where to start. Just give me a little motivation, like it's not that bad, you can do it. And it's book number 2. These next 2 books are lighthearted and very easy to read. Positive Affirmations and Who Ordered This Truckload of Dung. I love this title because obviously it's a bad thing to get a truckload of poop delivered to your door. But I just really couldn't help to muster up the visual of a truckload of dung being delivered. And lo and behold, there are places in the world that do appreciate dung. Cow dung cakes, for religious purpose only, of course. But I'm thinking some people might really appreciate getting a truckload of dung delivered to their home. Well, clearly, somewhere in the world, this is not a bad thing. But anyways, back to the book. This book is all about how to take life difficulties and turn them into a positive or find the life lesson. So the book is chock full of short little stories. I'm talking maybe a page and a half, as you can see here. I'm going to go ahead and write the title to this book. And it's kind of a long title, so why don't we speed up the process a bit? Here we go. That's a little better. Thank you very much. Okay, so this book has quite a few short stories in them. I'm actually not sure how many. I'm going to need to do a little research here, take a count. It's going to take me a bit. So why don't we switch over to Ginger, my Maltipoo. Look at how cute she is. She's 2 years old and she is the light of my life. She is so adorable, so sweet, so loving, and I could watch her chew on her bone for hours because I think it's the cutest thing ever, how she holds it in her body. Okay, back to the book. We have a total of 108 short stories. All right, so that doesn't come out to very many pages per day. I could probably read 3 stories per day, not a problem. So we're going to go ahead and do a little math here. Boo, 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 boo. And that will take me 36 days to finish this book, which I like. There's no pressure to read this book. It's not one I want to get done really fast. It's purely for pleasure reading. Okay, I'm going to get a little label here and I'm going to remind myself how many chapters or pages, in this case is chapters, or stories I'm going to be reading each day. So 3 per day. I made a little note. And I'm going to go to the beginning of the book where I want to start and I'm going to pop it on there. And then I'm good to go. The next book I've had this for many years. It's a quick read. It's a sweet little book called Positive Affirmations. And I just have not felt motivated to read it, but I want to read it. I'm going to read it a little bit every day with the help of my little system here. And I'm going to start, like all of them, by writing the title. And I'm going to figure out how many pages we have total here. All right, we have 97 pages. And looking at the font and how the words and sentences are spaced out, I think 5 pages per day is easy and not stressful and just enough to give me a little positive boost from positive affirmations. So it looks like it'll take me less than a month to read this book. Finally, 19 days, very doable, very realistic. Going to get my little label here. I'm going to write in 5 pages per day. Pop that into where I want to start. All right, there we go. So we have our 2 pleasure reading books out of the way, and we're off to our next book. It's actually 2 books in one. It's 6 total books. But this book, Nonviolent Communication, I recommend to anybody. All humans need to read this book. It's amazing. I read it cover to cover about 6 months ago, and there's so much information in it. I have to read it again, and I purchased the companion workbook because I want to actually study each chapter, because it has literally helped me be a better human, a better partner, a better parent, a better friend, a better everything. So I'm very excited to sit down and make a schedule for myself to really dive into this book. So this one I'm not doing by pages, I'm doing by chapters, and that's something that you can also modify if you adapt this process or this method yourself. So I'm going to do 1 chapter per week. I think that's very realistic, and that doesn't feel too overwhelming to me given the gravity of this book and how heavy some of the information is that I really want to soak up and I want to savor and I want to practice. So I'm going to make a note here on my label, 1 chapter per week, and I'll explain later how I'm going to actually break that down in pages. I'm just going to mark it, and we're all finished with this book. Now we're going to move on to creating a schedule on a calendar. So all fine and good to mark out how many days you want to read, how many pages per day, but I like to really sit down and map it out day by day on a calendar. Again, another visual to help me feel organized and successful. I'm going to break up my reading into morning, day, and evening. And I'm going to do that with colors, of course, going to color code these puppies. So we're going to do morning blue, afternoon midday purple, and the evening is going to be an orange. So I'm going to visually have that on the month so I can be reminded which books I'm reading. And so we're going to start with Feeding Your Demons. I have been trying to read this book for 10 years. I'm so dedicated to get this book out of the way. So that's a heavy book. Let's take a look at my two lighter books and pick one of those. I'm going to pick Positive Affirmations to go along with Feeding Your Demons as a way to just kind of round out the heaviness with a little more lightheartedness. I'm going to start by marking off the days that have already passed. So we're a few days into May. Today is May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo. So I'm going to start my journey tomorrow on May 6th. Let's revisit the paper we filled out earlier. So this book is going to take me 20 days to finish by reading 10 pages per day. So I'm going to mark that on my calendar. I'm going to count out 20 days from the day I'm starting, which is going to land me on May 25th. I'm going to abbreviate the title. I'm not going to write the whole title. I'm going to abbreviate it FD for Feeding Your Demons and 10 pages. And let's just speed this up a little bit. There we go. Okay. So here I am, the final day. Feeding Your Demons will be finished on May 25th. All right, let's move to Positive Affirmations, my other book I'm going to read each morning. This is going to take me 19 days to finish at 5 pages per day. And that's going to be obviously a day before on the 24th, starting tomorrow, still using blue because I'm going to be reading them every morning. Just going to initial PA for Positive Affirmations and 5 pages per day. I have to add that currently when I wake up, I am just watching a good solid hour of YouTube. So that's certainly not a way I want to start my day. And I'm not really getting anything from it. So I want to feel more productive. And this is a surefire way for me to do that, is having this schedule and making it super easy and very doable. So the next one, Nonviolent Communication, is something I'm going to read during the day. My workload is a little bit lighter now that I'm working from home during the quarantine, so I can incorporate more books that are actually very applicable to my job and communication, which I'm always striving to do better, learn more, and just be an all-around better human being. So we're going to start by doing Monday through Friday and NC for Nonviolent Communication. Monday through Thursday is going to be the reading days. Friday is going to be the workbook plus the main book day. I'm going to revisit and study it on Fridays. But you know who we haven't checked in on a while is our little Ginger. Let's see how she's doing, shall we? Okay, back to the books. So what I've done here is I'm going to mark each week the total number of pages in each chapter on the left-hand side, and I'll break those down into the week. So for example, Monday, 3 pages, Tuesday, 3 pages, Wednesday, 3 pages. Very doable, very easy to accomplish this goal. The next book we're going to read and focus on is Escape Anxiety. This is a book I definitely want to finish for work. We're going to pair that with Who Ordered This Truckload of Dung? These 2 books will be my evening routine, my evening reading, which I will read before bed. Currently, I am reading nothing before bed and just watching a ton of YouTube until late at night. So again, not very productive. So we're going to title EA for Escape Anxiety, and we're just going to title Dung for Who Ordered This Truckload of Dung, because that is a very long title. And it's going to take me 31 days to read Escape Anxiety. Again, really nice target within a month, and 36 days to read Dung. While I add that to the calendar, how about we check on Ginger and see how she's doing? Hello, little Ginger. How are you? Quick little pet. Okay, gotta go. All right, these 2 evening books have actually pushed me into June, which is fine, just the beginning of June. We're ending on the 5th for Escape Anxiety, and then we're going a few extra days to the 10th to finish Truckload of Dung. So pretty awesome. By mid-June, I'll have these 4 books done. I really can't wait. That's very exciting to think about. So we're revisiting our schedule here, looking through May through August at this point, summer reading. And I went ahead and I filled out May. And June, you can see I did Nonviolent Communication, and I can add more books here if I want to for the morning or evening. But at this point, we're going to move on because I think you get the picture and the idea on how to organize reading into a calendar like this. Now I'm going to show you, now that we've completed everything, where I store my books and my organized calendar. So let's head over to my bedside drawer. Oh my God, hold on. This is way too dusty. Give me a minute. Oh my God. So sorry. Excuse me. Let's just dust this off a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I have guests here and there's dust everywhere. Welcome to my beautiful dust-free bedside table. Here I've cleared out a drawer with a couple things, just a old Archie magazine and a Sudoku book that I like to have on hand because they make me very sleepy. And we're going to place all of our books here because we're going to be doing the bulk of our reading in bed in the morning and at night. So we want them close by and easy reach, no fuss, don't have to go searching around for them. Nice, clean, organized drawer with everything we need. And we have a gazillion bookmarks laying around, so I always add one to my drawer because you never know when you need one. And I'm going to get my schedule, pop that in there as well, just as a reminder. And always like to have a pencil and a highlighter on hand because my reading is very heavy and I take notes and highlight. All right, my friends, make it happen. You can do it. I believe in you. I hope you get all of your reading accomplished. I hope this video was useful for you, and happy reading. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks, friends. Bye.
La 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 la.